is no doubt that we are living in perilous times. Our gathering here today proves that. When we find ourselves burying a 14-year-old, it is truly the worst kind of times. But he was only 14 years old when his life was brought to an abrupt end at the hand of a gang of youths. And we should grieve with the family, because we have sons, we have daughters. We are sitting here and we're here because it seems to the world today that life is insignificant or it has no meaning. So could it be that we have become so twisted that we find it difficult even to love ourselves? Where the only time that we gather and the only time that we show care, the only time that we show respect is when we are here to bury a young life. We heard from the council of Sheffield was found in the wrong place at the wrong time. But I question that because where Sheffield was actually attacked was outside of his own home. Surely that cannot be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And if that does not show us, if that does not wake us up as a people to realize we need to take a stand now, then none of us are safe. None of our children are safe. Maybe sitting here today alongside someone you don't know, I want you just to turn to the next person. Turn to them. Turn to the next person and say, okay, neighbor. I mean, this is real. I believe in being real.
I'm your neighbour. I live amongst you. And from your manor, from your ends, you would have passed me in your car. I was waiting to cross the road. You would have seen me. You probably didn't notice me, but you would have seen me. I was on my way to school. Day one, big school. That's where it all begins. That's the start. There was probably a crowd of us, 11-year-olds growing up. We was gang.
Well, fun. You cool, fam. Except we didn't talk like that yet. We were kids, youths, trembling in front of Miss.
Oi, you useless, pathetic bunch of...
No. It wasn't like that yet.
Miss was blessed.
Just doing her job.
It just didn't work for me, except at playtime. Yeah, we still called it playtime. Playtime!
Reporters found that the number of children in care in England has increased by 25% in just over a decade. Over the same period, the number of child protection investigations has increased by nearly 130%.
At risk, unheard, voiceless. Inside, outside, risk and danger. Speaking out. Someone listens, understands. Voice heard and listened to. Safe inside and out.
Okay, young people need space. Lots of space to contain the energy. And we don't spend enough time and thought about what kind of space we want to put them in. We usually put them in little boxes. In ugly spaces, dark spaces, no colour in their life.
He's become a teenager.
I want to propose to you that adolescence is a failed 19th century idea.
And you know, sometimes I ended up being on the train when like a lot of teenagers would get out of school and they'd be on the train. And I found myself kind of like scared behind girls like running around yelling, being real violent, breaking shit.
And ended up hanging out, watching junk television, doing drugs, and having sex.
It's not a drug that can be used with no ill effects.
As cannabis is usually smoked, it hits the brain almost immediately, affecting cannabinoid receptors. In small doses, it induces euphoria, relaxation, and pain relief. But in high doses, it can bring on paranoia or other short-term effects. Some scientists have started to explore the links of long-term use of cannabis and psychosis. Of the hundreds of compounds found in cannabis, it seems one of these, THC, or tetrahydrocannabinoids, may be linked to psychotic behavior. I think it's planned. Brilliant, smoking the playground, the playground, and that Jesus.
Big towns, rough areas, you know,
and their bad behaviour. I suppose they only focus on the minority of teenagers, not all of us.
We are all very sympathetic to the baby in the NSPCC posters who've been abused, and we all really feel for that child. And yet often those children are the children who end up growing up, who end up in our prison system, who end up committing crime against us. And yet during that journey we seem to have lost all our empathy, and we want to punish them, and yet when they were young, when they were children, we want to save them, we want to help them, but we seem to have lost that link, and we end up hating them and despising them.
No, yeah, they're definitely dangerous, and I think if you're a girl, you need to be ready.
At the school I went to, near where certain boys used to chill, and then I got to know them, and then I got close with them, and then they became my friends, so I felt like I had loyalty towards them, but then I ended up going to a school with their op, so then they didn't like that, and then I became a target.
Road or you're a girly girl, and if you're a road, you're just road, and you basically lay your life down, innit? You're willing to die, you're willing to ride.
One of us had an altercation with a girl previously because she slept with one of the girls in the group's boyfriend. Slag thought she was bad, like she lived in the opposite area from our area. They've seen the girl and her friends, they just started kicking and punching up the girl who was like, and the girl was on the floor bleeding.
And you enjoy it, it's that adrenaline rush of, am I going to get caught, or not fame, but hood fame. That, oh, I know her, I mean, it's the title that comes with it. and you enjoy it. It's that adrenaline rush of, oh, I'm going to get caught, or not fame, but hood fame. That, oh, I know her.
If you want to do so much damage to another female, whether it be out of jealousy, out of hate, there's so many things you can do, but I think acid, as in permanently damaging someone's face, it's disgusting behaviour, it's scum.
Man, move! What's my catch, you idiot? Fucking idiot!
Effectively, a county line is a telephone number. It's a drugs line. It tends to involve young people, often exploited, taking often large quantities of drugs from urban areas such as London out into county towns and coastal towns.
They wouldn't look at substance use as a drug mule or someone like my little brother's age, because that's the age I really started, 12, 13. Even the general public, they would never look at a young person and think, he sells drugs.
Buy drugs in London for a very cheap price and sell them in a county or another part of London or a coastal town for much more money. It's simple economics that drives county land drug supply.
Criminal exploitation relates to county lines and could affect any child. We've seen children across the country from all different walks of life being targeted. However, the biggest risk indicator is poverty.
Unsupported, unsafe, no real space or home. Someone cares. A space of my own, my home.
You see? The estates are rough. I mean, people struggle for money around here, and kids hitting 12 and 13, they only see one option. I had to get out of my house. Mum couldn't cope. Dad started hitting my mum and was trying to go for me and my sisters, so my mum had to get us out of there, you know? She took my sisters with her to a refuge and helped me get into a supported living situation, because they wouldn't let boys my age, you know, teenagers, into the refuge. I'm not that far from home. Maybe I'm too close. Oh, Dad runs too much shit around here. What if he finds me? Or what if he finds my mum? Oh, things are mad around here. Because the place is mostly split between two kinds of people. There's normal people getting on with their day-to-day lives, and then there's those guys, the crew. Yeah, they're the ones that drive nice cars and wear fresh garms. There's no way they're stripping by on benefits. Some of my mates were getting involved in things they can't control, getting themselves into problems. Not me though, not me. I don't want no part of that. Because when I grew up, I want to be a... Wait. You don't care what I want to be when I grow up?
Well, every child should have the right to reach their own individual potential. We shouldn't be raising barriers and putting in ceilings. Let them show us how far they can reach.
They're not bad boys, these dropouts. You can't put all the blame on the individual pupil or his family, or on our schools, or on our economic or our social system. Dropouts, educators have found, just don't happen overnight. They take years to develop. Most of them do have parents who feel they are economic and social failures, who never read a book, who consider school a necessary nuisance, a waste of time. A teacher just isn't able to spend enough time on a fifth grade boy who can't read. So at the age of 10, Joe was already starting to become a failure in terms of the school situation. He didn't like the kids who showed him up so easily. He didn't like teachers who seemed bent on making a fool of him. A small boy is not unaware of our pressures to have, to get, to own things. In church, in newspapers, on television screens, juvenile delinquency and character breakdown are deplored. But on the street, in every town, we are hawking the tawdry wares of a spurious paradise. And no one is selling patience, hard work, higher values, let alone forbearance.
Dear Mrs. Edwards, the school is sorry to inform you that your son has been permanently excluded from the school in line with the governor's disciplinary procedures and policy. Details enclosed. This permanent exclusion step has not been taken lightly and is in response to the continuous breach of school discipline demonstrated by your son and his persistent disruptive behaviour, which puts the safety of pupils at significant risk. The school feels that it has gone through every single procedure possible on the way to making this decision, including temporary and fixed-term exclusion. Although your son's education now becomes the authority's responsibility, we do not hold out a great deal of hope for alternative mainstream provision. We enclose a copy of the appeals procedure should you wish to pursue that route. All communication about this issue must now go through the local authority. We cannot accept or respond to any direct contact. 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 Contact.
Dear world, UK and everyone. I'm here now, but I don't know if you can see me. I mean really see me, as in notice me. It's hard to notice someone, properly notice someone. You have to listen and look. And it's sometimes hard for people to do both things at once. So I sort of wander around all of you, hoping that one day someone will look and listen at the same time. Then that will be it. I will be noticed, and I can stop looking for ways to be noticed. I'm from a care background. I think care background means that no one cares and I'm only ever put in the background. But that's just my opinion. I'd like to ask other people about their opinions, but they never notice me long enough to ask them anything. Basically, I'm invisible. Sometimes I'm so invisible that I run away and escape. But no one has noticed me, so no one knows I've gone. My big worry is that I'm going to make mistakes, big mistakes in my life, and no one's going to talk me out of them. And no one's going to stop me making mistakes because I'm invisible, in full sight. I'm not here. A near miss. A near miss. Do you know what a near miss is? I did it in health and social care. It's a health and safety thing. It's when an accident nearly happens, but doesn't happen. So in my invisible life, moving from what they call in care to leaving care, I have had loads of near misses. I was nearly mugged for my wages when I pretended to be 16 to get work. I when my drink was spiked when I was pretending to be 18 to get into a club. I was nearly arrested when I was nearly caught being forced to sell drugs to someone. They were arrested. I was nearly made to be a prostitute by someone who forgot me and moved on to someone else. So many near misses. In my health and social care BTEC, they say, in health and safety, that you have to report near misses. So when these things nearly happened to me, I kept running away from my children's home. And I told people.
A near miss. You have to tell someone about the near misses in your life, but you have to keep telling them. Don't stop telling someone or trying to find someone to tell, because one of these days, a near miss that has always been a near miss won't miss.
And then we start, we've got things in common. So 3 of us smoke and maybe 2 don't. But we've accepted the 2 don't for not smoking, so they're cool. 2 that don't smoke have accepted us for smokers. Then say we might start raving together. And then as you're raving together, the love becomes more close. If you've got things in common, then we might do like a robbery together.
All about the money now, I just get my bag on. I slap off completely, kick back with a bad one. You ain't by that guy like when I back at a slang man. We're sliding on your block and you ain't throwing up gang signs. Stepping with killers, your man eaters, gorillas, we illest. Eat out of school and now they're saying good riddance. Gee, man don't care, I ain't been caught in a lot. And if I do, then I promise that I'm slapping it back. Bow, slept in the trap and now I'm flipping the pack and I stack it. I got these drillers and they're ripping on walls and bags. Pull up on bolts, I'm just swinging my dot when I back it. Friends on the Jason, you know when you Spanish like magic.
How many other people from our school made the choices that we made? Who else died and has been murdered from our school?
People say your conscience is spiritual discernment. Grab from a conscience is not existent. The violence is an unjust use of force of power. As I violate the numbers right for getting robbed and pushed about. Is that right? My postcode is what my soul is attached to. The street likes to raise me more than my dad do. I know how to move the right people to chat to. You roll without a life, when I also catch you. So come on, government, look upon my predicament. To survive, you have to move militant. So it's just me, I'm a Rambo, giving you aggro. So we step on my off-whites. It's just a roll of dice. I got that thing in my pocket, I don't have to think twice.
That's how it happens. So that person who Rob might carry along, who doesn't normally carry a knife, but we all carry knives now. So then they just pick up a knife as everyday life, and that becomes the norm.
Ready to ride it in. I flick on the radio, get in the mood to swing. So who the what are you chatting to? Connect to my boot with chin. Half my people slinging drink, the others all up on the whip. So don't ask why I done what I did, cause I grew up real fast, needed income real quick. Now when the CD plays to tell me it's time to hit the belly, I'm ever at the ready. Little boy, don't run at your lips. I'm with the Koji, all up in the hoopty. Daddy rocking Gucci and none of it cheap. So yo, yeah, you better move slow. Before I hijack your phone, Joe still swerving the popo. Big fist, leave a popo. You didn't block, now you know though. The X ain't my heart for. So it's sleep that I'm out for. 5 man in the 4-door. Hit with the lockjaw. Pay the big hoop, better stick, son. Trying to beat the clock as it ticks, son. Taking the risk, son. Now I can't look back. Gotta go secure the re-up, then it's back to the track. I like it.
To an end. So you're doing that because you're going to get a result, and you need to get that result to wake up tomorrow.
Sometimes you just get bored, innit? Sitting around, smoking weed all day, and then someone walks past and you think, why not? I'm tooled up. And he's some little boy with his phone in his hand. Hey, what are you doing in my ends, man? I'm gonna mess you up, you get me? You know what I'm saying?
Do this, bro. I was walking past our bus stop the other day when this waste man gave me a screw face.
Oh, what happened?
At our bus stop, this waste man gave me a screw face.
Yeah, that one.
Like, it was sat there like this, looking at me like that.
He was sat there like this, looking at you like that.
Disrespect, didn't it?
Disrespect. So then what?
I was like, oh, waste man. Sat there like this.
Yeah.
Looking at me like that. think you're looking at?
Then what?
Well, he moved over, innit?
He moved
Looked
over.
away and he shook one.
Shook one. So then what?
I was like, oi, waste man. Sat there like this, looking at me like that, then looking away, looking all shook. What do you think you're doing?
And then what?
Bruv, he looked back into my face, bruv.
Again?
Disrespect.
Disrespect. So then what?
I was like, oi, waste man. Sat there like this, looking at me like that.
Yeah.
They're looking away, acting all shook. They're looking back. Do you know what? I told him to move over, innit?
Yeah, I hope he kept it moving swiftly, bro.
Yeah, he kept it moving swiftly into your seat.
What?
Disrespect.
I hope he told him that slummy seat.
I was like, bro, hey, that's slummy seat.
The slummy seat.
Disrespect.
Disrespect. So then what?
He talks.
Shut up,
He's like, I don't want no trouble. I'm just waiting to get on the bus.
Waiting to get on the bus.
Why would he be at a bus stop if not to get on the bus? He's trying to take me for a month. Be honest. He's trying to muck me off. He's trying to take me for a month.
Whoa. Let me get this straight. So first he's sitting there like this. Then he's looking at you like this. And then man's getting up, moving, changing, play. Brother, what did you do?
You have been convicted of aggravated assault. We are going to give you a custodial sentence, a 6-month detention and training order. This means you will be sent to prison, a young offender institute, for 3 months, then released. The final 3 months will be in the community, undertaking supervision, training and resettlement. If you commit any further offences during this last 3 months, or breach any of the requirements, you can be sent back to prison. Do you understand? Please take him down to the cell.
The guy I need to a lot to save my vibe. Justin's down to the jails. We always send no mail now. I was supposed to go to prison. This was a part of the vision. I don't trust God beneath my celly. I miss my mama's the time already. I'm watching the clock go round and round. Time don't stop, feels frozen now. Days feel longer, the nights feel longer. What don't kill you makes you stronger.
they'll carry a knife, they'll start hanging around with other people that carry knives, and they'll start doing certain activities because that's the way they express themselves. And the ones that do the worst, that stab people, that do the worst, they will climb to the top of their social board because they'll get praised. They'll get praised, so that's their way of feeling like they are a part of something. So that's one way how it can escalate into different avenues, different levels.
The social engineering of the people at the top of the pile, the rich people, the people that go to private schools and end up being bankers and earning loads of money, is as fine-tuned as the social engineering of the people at the bottom of the pile. The poor people, the people that end up in our prison system, the people who are addicted to drugs and who have mental health problems. And yet we don't seem to realise this. We are actually manufacturing social failure.
We finally got moved from my estate. Felt like there was trouble around every corner. But we ended up moving and now I've got a fresh start, a new beginning. And this is my new house. Supported living. Mum checks it out. She's not far from me, she's down the road with my sisters. She just wants me to be in a good place, you know. She wants me to get some independence, but not too much, obviously. Like, freedom, but support. Because obviously I need freedom, you know what I mean? Like, I'm 16, I need that. But I get to make some choices too, which is really, really good. And there's always people keeping an eye on me to make sure that me and my friends that live in the house that I do, make sure we're all alright. Yeah, I think I'm in a good place. And I get to make choices about things like what stuff I can buy for my room and for my house.
But I let Mum choose some things for me. She needs that. She wants my home to be a palace for when my sisters visit. I think I'm lucky. Some kids my age and in my situation have a shit life. No one cares. I get the support I need. My mum and my sisters, they get the support that they need. It's all good. Oh, by the way, did I tell you what I want to be when I grow up? Never mind. I'll tell you next time.
I remember the phone call in the middle of the night. Which hospital? Where? The world around me became unreal. Suddenly I was 16 again, the age I was when he was born. But now I was 16 without a future. I'd been robbed of his future. I'm with it at 9. I remember his birth, feet first, kicking hard out into the world. I remember laying him on the floor when 4 months old, encouraging him to crawl. I remember sleepless nights and early mornings, watching TV or a cartoon, whilst he was happily playing on the carpet. I remember his first school teacher telling me he can get far, but my God, he'll need pushing. I remember his first guitar at 7 and his joy when he could play his first tune. I remember his first love at 13 when his hands were stroking his girlfriend's long hair, whilst his gaze never left her face. Every morning, as I stare out the window, and I see the trees and the sunshine or the rain, birds leaving or coming back to nest. Tears are streaming, and I feel as if a heavy weight bears down on me. It requires a huge effort to shift my thoughts into some kind of gear to start the day. Another empty day without him. Another attempt to carry on with life in a normal fashion in this callous world which demands from us to survive.
It's not just about tinkering around at the edges and just building yet another youth club in a local area. We need a radical rethink. We have to take young people's experiences seriously. We have got to stop demonising and fearing them, and we have to put them really high up the agenda because children and young people are our future.
I stabbed him! Do you know what I'm saying? I stabbed him!
Hello everyone. As you're all aware, I'm here to facilitate this meeting. Firstly, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. We're here to discuss the incident that happened. Although this happened 3 years ago, it's important that we discuss the facts as openly and honestly as possible. If you can, I'd like you to be thinking about these questions. Who has been affected by this incident? How are they affected? What were you thinking at the time? How did you feel at the time? How have you felt about this since? How else were you affected? What was the hardest thing for you? Has anyone else been affected? Who else has been affected? How do you feel about what happened now?
You may be sitting here today alongside someone you don't know. I want you just to turn to the next person. Turn to them. Turn to the next person. And say, I